Great Chicago weather we're having today. My name is Susan Patel, and I'm the Vice President of the Indo-American Democratic Organization. And tonight is a very special night for me. For starters, we have all gathered this evening to celebrate a good friend of mine, Ram's success in reaching the Illinois Senate. Secondly, as the entrepreneur behind Urban Convene, I am honored to host all of you at our grand opening tonight. Over the last year, I have worked closely with Ram on two fronts: his Senate campaign and collaborating partners to continue expanding the important mission of IADO. Our work is not done. Please enjoy the space and great company, and it's my pleasure to introduce our treasurer of IADO, Shajan.
All right. Thank you. So thank you again, everyone, for coming this evening. We do have a bit of a speaking segment. We're not going to try to make it too long, just because I do know that it is getting a little hot in this room, and then we do want to have the man of the hour say a few words as well. So with that being said, let me first recognize our United States Congresswoman Janet Schakowsky.
I supported Ram even before I was able to pronounce his last name. It's Villivallam, right?
Close.
No. Is that wrong?
No, you're pretty much right.
What is
My family disagrees about how to pronounce it. So. Villivallam.
Villivallam. Okay. But I could see from Ram from many years ago, because I saw him when he worked on Brad Schneider's campaign for Congress, and the kind of energy and the kind of smarts that he has. And then I saw him go to SEIU healthcare and make sure that he was there to fight for healthcare for all ordinary Americans, for working families. That is his lifelong commitment, to make life better for ordinary people. So he is my contact. So it was a very, very exciting campaign. This was a progressive and a lot of firsts, Ram, for you to serve as the first Indian American, the first Asian American man or person in the Illinois Senate. I know our Senate president is here. Where's John Cullerton? He's right there. And I know joining a Senate now, you got another supermajority, don't you, John? That's pretty cool. Yeah. And so these progressive ideas that Ron has championed throughout his adult life are the kinds of things and the kinds of energy and the kind of commitment that he's going to bring. He has reached out throughout our beautifully diverse district, part of my district as well. You know, we're so proud of that there are people of every ethnic background, race, religion, color in the district. And Ron has made it his business to make sure that everybody is included. That's what makes America great. And Ron will, in the Illinois Senate, will make it even greater. So I'm proud to stand here today with him.
Watch Ram get sworn in. I actually had a chance to watch him on Saturday get sworn in as well. But President Cullerton, has a long-standing history of being a leader, being a mentor. So one of the things that I will ask, which I'm sure you will do, is mentor this man well while he is in the Senate in Illinois.
Thank you very much. So we have two swearing-ins this week, and on Tuesday I had the honor of introducing new senators from the Senate floor. Senator Crow, Senator Belt, Senator Thomas, Senator Fine. Crow, Belt, Thomas, and Fine. Simple names. And I got my first opportunity. Now, everybody in our caucus has figured out the components of Rom's name. They know it's Villy, they know there's a la, there's a vom in there. It's just that they're just not sure what accent, what the accent is. So I think I did the best I could. And then a couple days later, the next day, we had another roll call for the election of the Senate President. We are really happy that we do have a super majority. We have 40 to 19. Actually, most Democrats that have ever been elected in the history of the state of Illinois. And tomorrow, we announce the committee assignments. And I'm happy to tell you that Rom got every committee he asked. But it's almost like he doesn't need too much mentoring. It's almost like he has been the Rookie of the Year already because he's been helping our caucus and helping our team in the November elections to help us pick up those 3 extra seats. So I'm really, really looking forward to working with Rom, and I'm looking forward to his helping our caucus come together. Because we're going to have some really tough votes this year, because we have a lot of tough problems to overcome, things that have been left on our doorstep by the previous governor for the last 4 years, a lot of old debts and things that were undone that we want to make sure we fix. It's not going to be easy, but we're going to come together, and we're going to come together as a team, and I'm looking forward to Rom being one of those leaders of that team. So thank you very much for inviting me.
Next up, I'd like to introduce State Rep John D'Amico. The State Rep is actually works with Rom in together in capacity in the legislature. So,
thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. I'm John D'Amico. I'm the State Rep in the 15th District, and Rom is my new senator, and I'm his State Rep. So I can tell you, I've known Rom and his wife Liz for many, many years. We've worked on a number of campaigns together. The first campaign I met him was with Branch Snyder's. I was running, and part of my district shares Branch Snyder's district as well. And we would all be out knocking on doors together every day, nonstop. And I can tell you Liz was there doing the same thing. And I tell you, the reason I mention his wife's name too is I think the only way you can be a successful elected official, you need to be working together with your wife and your entire family. Because without your family behind you, you cannot be successful in this business, believe me. So congratulations to Liz as well. It was an honor to be there when Rom got sworn in on Saturday, and then this week we were down in Springfield to get sworn in, and I wish you nothing but the best. I look forward to working with him these next couple years. I know we got some tough votes ahead of us, but we're going to work together. We got a great governor all the way down, and I think we're going to do some great things in the upcoming years. So thank you, Ron. Congratulations.
So next up, I'd like to introduce someone else who just got sworn in on Tuesday also as well, was Karina Villa, State Rep. Would you mind coming up and saying a few words?
We're the freshmen. Yeah, so since I've heard about Rom, I got really interested in the work that he was doing, and both of us, I think, have a lot of momentous things that we're doing for our districts. I flipped a seat out in DuPage King County. I'm the first Latina to represent that district, so my good friend now, Rom, I'm so excited to be here with you today. This is just such a wonderful event. I cannot wait to work together on passing some great legislation.
Thank you.
I think the one thing I also do want to recognize with Karina's campaign is that our new IADO's new executive director, Kevin Oligo, was a big part of her campaign. So Kevin, I know you're in the back, but if you wouldn't mind just showing your hand real quick, or your head. So next up, I see someone just walked in who is a newly appointed state senator, which is Robert Peters. next I'd like to ask our first Indian elected alderman, and hopefully the next city treasurer of Chicago, to say a few words, Alderman Ameya Pawar.
Good evening. Good evening. He made history. And I just wanted to say that he has a long history working on progressive causes. You know, Ram with SEIU worked with those of us in the city council to raise the minimum wage, to guarantee earned sick time, to combat wage theft, to work on a whole host of issues, not just organizing in Springfield, but pushing the city council to do the right thing. And I just wanted to be totally upfront and say, I can't be happier for you. You have such a bright future ahead of you. I can't wait to see what you do. Liz, thank you for being so supportive. You can't run for office, hold office, without having an incredible partner. They just had a baby. They really are what it means to be a working family, what it means to achieve the American dream. And I think we should not only be proud of Ram, but recognize that this is exactly what the United States of America is about. His story is why we all, for those of us who have an immigrant background, why our parents came here, why we came here, why we work so hard, and why our parents work so hard. So Rob, I just wanted to say, it is truly an honor to be your friend, but it's even a greater honor to call you Senator. And thank you.
All right, so next up I'd like to introduce the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District Commissioner, the first Asian American to get elected, Josina Marie.
First Asian American elected countywide. The first at MWRD too. Yeah. And his mother, Ron, people don't know, but Mrs. Villivallam was the first Asian American head of a department at MWRD. She was the head of IT. I'm a commissioner in the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District and couldn't have been prouder to chair Ram's campaign.
Yeah.
When I moved to Illinois 15 years ago, we had 0 Asian Americans in any major political office. And now, 15 years later, to see where we've grown to have Asian Americans at every major level of office, from U.S. Senate, Congress, countywide, in the General Assembly. And people say, well, when Ram called you and asked for your support, you just supported him because he was Asian. And I'm like, that's a qualification in and of itself. It is. I joke that between he and I, him being Indian, me being Chinese, we represent half of the world's population. But I supported Ram because he is a doer. We've worked together on many campaigns to raise the minimum wage, to support immigrants. We would not have been able to make history at all those other different levels of government without the work that Ram did as a campaigner and as an organizer. And so I am so excited for him to be joining the state senate. He is my state senator. I live in Skokie. And I also wanted to say, you know, this is an event for Indo-American Democratic Organization. None of us would have been able to do this without IADO either. And so thank you. I know there's a lot of the founders of IADO. So, Ram, congratulations. I think this is the 5th time I've celebrated you this week. I'm exhausted. But I'm looking forward to working together. And for those who didn't see, Ram, myself, Teresa Ma, who's and Jennifer Gong-Gershowitz, who are in the General Assembly, Alderman Pawar, just this last week formed the Joint Asian American Leaders Caucus. For the first time, we have enough Asian Americans in office to form a caucus with Asians in it. Caucus, so we look forward to working with you as commissioner, as senator, but also as the caucus. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Commissioner. I do want to recognize a couple people in this room. Just because of time, I'm not going to ask them to speak, but I do want to recognize Judge Jesse Reyes. also do want to recognize a former IEDO board member. Just recently, he ran for governor in Illinois, but former state senator Daniel Biss. And I think I just want to take this minute right now to also recognize the IEDO board members. So, with that being said, our Vice President Susie Patel, Tom Kalile, who is former Vice President and on the board, Evan Kuriakos, Yazdeen Hashmi, Vivek Yaldandi, Sam Katadia, Denise Lemay, Delar Syed.
Why don't you just raise your hand if we missed you?
And Samaya Niliwala. And Judge Kimberly Lewis is also here. I'm sorry I missed you.
Good evening. Good evening. I want to acknowledge all the good folks here. I see a president over here, President Cullerton, along with other good folks. I am very grateful to be here. I have to confess that I really didn't know your senator very well when I agreed to support him. Where's Nish Didakavi? Is Nish here somewhere?
He's running on South Asian time.
No, he's in the back somewhere. So Nish Didakavi has been on my staff. There he is. There he is. Wave your hand, Nish. Nish said, you know, I got this friend up on the north side. He's really progressive. I know you haven't met him, but I want you to support him. And so we looked into his record, and actually he is. Very progressive. And I was very grateful to have been an early adopter. And I'm very grateful to all of you for your help and support in electing him. We look forward to working with him and to the, look forward to, where did Josina go? To the working with the Asian American Caucus. You know, I always say I'm a history teacher, right? And this is a great country because people have come from all over the world to make it so. And surely the South Asian community has been an important part of the sort of melting pot that is our country. And I really appreciate the good work that you've done to support our new senator. And I know that he's going to make us proud in Springfield. Thank you.
Thank you. So there is one request from the media. If we can have all of the elected officials just really quickly come and take a quick picture with the state senator. We would greatly appreciate it. So Senator Culler, twice if you can hear me. Can we get a clap 3 times if you can hear me? All right. So next up, I'd like to ask, sorry, I'm going to ask just for quiet for a minute. Next up, I'd like to ask someone else to introduce our new state senator today. I've had the chance to know the Villivallam family for decades, but I think it was appropriate if someone from his family did the introduction instead. Ram, we are very proud of you as a community. All I'll say is that we are very proud of you as a community. We look forward to you doing very well as a state senator and also helping our community grow as you have within IEDO. But with that being said, I'd like to ask Ram's brother, Dr. Arun Villivallam, to come and say a few words.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good evening.
Pronounce his last name.
So if you have 3 Villivallams in a room, you'll get 5 different pronunciations. I just adopted my joke about doctors. We'll get 2 doctors in a room, we'll have 10 opinions. Thank you all for the opportunity to say a couple things about Ram and introduce him. You know, I think I would start by saying when we were down in Springfield, I started noticing one of the perks of having him as state senator. You know, he's 12 years younger than me, but we got confused a couple of times. You know, so people addressed me as senator, and I was like, okay. So that was kind of a new experience for me. You know, I think that Sajjan asked me to say a couple words and introduce Ram. And it's kind of an odd thing to have your brother, who's 12 years younger than you, really do so many things that have made you so proud. And I think that, I think that it really takes, when I think of all the things that, how we grew up and where we are today, I really look out, and what hits me is how much that we have relied on our community to get to where we are. And it's not just about who's your blood relative, your parents, your brother and sister. It goes way, way beyond that. And I think that in our family, our parents had the benefit of so many close friends that this line between friend and family gets really blurred. And we don't really have that. And we have so many people that we can really appreciate. And I think that that is reflected in what has been accomplished. And really, I know this moment, in some ways, Ram and my sister Vina give me a hard time because they feel like I've had a little more
golden child. Yes. I was trying to help him out.
Yeah, but so I think that I think what really has come through in all of this is that it's not really about what we what we stand for is not it's not about us. It's about what we're going to do. And while this is such a great moment and we should celebrate it, I think that there's a lot of work to do. And I think that we're all expecting Ram to do what needs to be done and to make that difference. And so on behalf of our family and our community and our friend circle, which now includes all of you, has included all of you, thank you for all the support that you've given Ram to help him get to where he is today. And really, this is his accomplishment. His accomplishment is a representation it's a reflection of what you all have helped him become. And so I think this is just about giving back. And with that, I'm going to ask my brother to say a few words. Thank you.
Which one's the center? Whenever we have a tough vote, I might ask you to visit us, or I wrote some things down. Let's see if this will work. I'm overwhelmed. Honestly, it's been such an exhausting week, and the last 24 hours, we got back from Springfield. I got back from Springfield at 11 p.m. on Thursday, and it's been kind of a blur. And, I wasn't feeling well, and just the last 30 minutes have just picked me up. And I also came here thinking, well, we had an election night party in March, we had an election night party in November, we had an early swearing in on Saturday evening, we had Wednesday, and now we have today. So what else can I say out of those 4 events? But I'll start with saying thank you. Thank you so much for the folks that have been with us from the beginning, to the folks that joined us along the way. I would not be here, we would not be here without your support. Thank you to the mentorship of all the elected officials that spoke. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, who's now in the House Democratic majority. Mr. President, thank you so much for your guidance and mentorship, and for giving me the committees that I requested. I appreciate that, and really look forward to working with you and getting a lot of things done. President Preckwinkle, your leadership at the county, the 2nd largest county in the country, thank you as well, for your mentorship and guidance along the way. Alderman Amaya Pawar, I mean, he talks about history. He was the first at the city council. People like him and Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy and Commissioner Marita, Representative Mott, they made this possible. They took a step forward and took a risk. I mean, obviously you all know I've worked on campaigns, and I've really learned the mechanics of campaigns. And when Alderman Pawar explained to me what he did in 2011, I was like, you did what? He literally met his friends on a street corner. They pulled up Google Maps and they just knocked on every door. Because that's the type of grassroots campaign that he was running. And he won. And so it's really to his credit, to Congressman Krishnamurthy's credit, and Josina and Teresa, that this is even possible. You know, why did I do this? You know, you might have heard this already. You might have seen it in my campaign literature. I really wanted to run because I thought I could be part of a new generation in Springfield. People talk about term limits. I just want to tell you one thing off the bat. 30% of the legislature is new. 51 out of the 177 legislators are going to be new. In the Senate, which they usually have longer terms, the average, and Mr. President said this on Wednesday, the average term that people have right now is 7 years. You know, there is a new generation coming to the legislature in Springfield, and it could not be at a more important time. We need effective representation, proactive representation, and I'm just honored to be a part of that. I just think about how I got here, and I can't forget where I came from. You know, I worked for Congressman Brad Schneider. In fact, and I got to give a couple shout outs. Pat Moggy's here. He gave me my first job in 2009. And so Pat's in the back there. My 5th grade teacher's here, Mrs. Lewis. People don't know this. People don't know this, but I actually, in a true Indian fashion, I was going to school on the northwest side of Chicago, kindergarten through 4th grade, and I was coming home, I was finishing my homework in class, and my parents were like, this is crazy, you're coming home and going out the door to play. We're going to make sure you go to a gifted program. At that time, there were 3 gifted programs in the north side. They were all full. Obviously, my brother and sister went to one of them when they were and so my parents didn't care. They're like, we're going to find a gifted program. The only other one was Beasley Academic Center on the south side. So we lived 5,000 north. Beasley Academic Center was 5,000 south. So we would get up every morning at 4:30, 5 o'clock, get out of the house by 5:30. I drive downtown. We drive down. I didn't drive. We drive downtown. The school bus wouldn't come that far north. So they said meet us in downtown somewhere. I got on the bus at Dearborn and Jackson and went, and I would never forget meeting the assistant principal at Beasley Academic Center. He basically looked at my parents and like, are you crazy? You know, you really want to do this? But that's the type of values that my parents had, and the length that they would go to make sure I was being challenged. And going from a school, which is, you know, we have to deal with, going from a school on the northwest side of Chicago to a school across the Robert Taylor homes, I'm just glad, I'm so privileged to have had a teacher like Mrs. Lewis to help me with that transition. And so there are people like that all across this room that have helped me get to this point. And it's just an incredible honor. I'll say what I said before, what I ran on in the beginning in 2017 and where I'm standing today, those issues are still important to me. Increasing the minimum wage, making sure that we change our tax system. Illinois is one of only 4 states that's constitutionally required to have a flat income tax. That's really hurting us in our ability to move our state forward. Looking at gun violence prevention measures, making sure we have equality in terms of women and LGBTQ folks. There's a lot that we still have to do, and I'm looking forward to working on that. Obviously, it's an incredible honor for me to be the first Asian American in the state Senate, first Indian American in the Illinois General Assembly. It's weird to say that sometimes too, and I'm not taking that responsibility lightly. I'm going to take it very seriously. I tell people in the community, I represent 217,000 people in my district, but as far as the Indian community is concerned, I'm going to be your voice no matter where you live in the state of Illinois, and that's my commitment. I want to thank my staff. You know, Allie Lichterman's here. Max Yenkin. Nura is Nura, so Nura and Olivia aren't here, but having been a campaign staffer, let me just tell you, you work 14, 15 hours a day. It is brutal. It's really hard. And I just can't thank you both enough. Thanks, and Nura and Olivia, for all that you did. It's just incredible. And I'm really happy that you came, and obviously you know I'm here for anything you need. And so, now looking at my notes, so I also just want to recognize the work that I did at SEIU, because again, all of this has brought me to who I am today. And I joined SEIU Healthcare at a tumultuous time. You know, we had Governor Rauner, who had an ideological agenda and wouldn't move. And so, you know, basically, I was tasked with help as part of a team to protect home care for seniors and people with disabilities, child care for working families, Medicaid for those in need. These are all programs that our community and my family and folks talked about and used. And so it was an honor for me to be a part of that experience and learn a lot about the legislative process. And so, you know, using that experience and using my experience in government, I really think or thought that I could put those two together to make a difference, and that's why I ran. I'll just end by thanking my family. Can I have them come up? While they come up, I just want to especially thank the Indo-American Democratic Organization. Let's give them a round of applause for I'm currently the board president. I've been on the board for 6 years. I believe so much in their mission. I believe so much in their mission to engage South Asian Americans in the political process, the legislative process. We have a long way to go. We need to get South Asian American voter turnout higher, and that's what we're all about. So we're working on that. A special thank you to Sajin and Susie for putting this together. You know, you guys don't know this. We actually had to shut off the Eventbrite on Thursday because there was 200 people that have RSVP'd, and it's almost like we got saved by the snow, kind of. So we're thankful in that respect, but thank you all so much for putting this together. You know, for me, family is everything, and Representative Miko hit it on the head. This would not have been possible without my family. My brother and my sister-in-law, Poonam, Richika and Sohan. Richika still, there's an outstanding pledge for $63 that she still owes me for my campaign. We're in negotiations over it. I remember she made this pledge. She's saying a different story, but they flew out from California so many times. You know, they flew from California to Springfield directly, and so I now know where the Springfield airport is. And you know, they've just been incredibly supportive, and I know it's hard on them because they want to be here more and do more. But I'm telling you all that you've done more than enough. My sister and my brother-in-law. And they're 3-year-old twins. They're not here because they're sleeping as they should be. Well, hopefully they're sleeping. My sister Vina, she has done just so much for the campaign, so much for everything. My brother-in-law brought in food every week. I mean, I'm telling you, this was a real family effort, and I don't know how they did it. I mean, we have a 4-month-old, and I'm like, okay, this is enough, you know. And but for now, Roland, if you're watching in 18 years. And you're really a good kid. But they were just incredibly supportive, and my mom, you know, people have seen me talk about my mom. I mean, this lady is amazing. She, you know, came here in the 1970s, and she was a teacher in India. She worked as a cashier, and you know, a lot of people may not know this, but you know, she had a bachelor's degree in India, but a lot of times they don't recognize that here. So she went back to school to get her bachelor's in computer science while taking care of my brother and my sister. And you know, if you're sitting next, if you were talking to her today, she might look at me and say, "Look at that guy. I would never imagine he'd been here. He's the first Asian American first Indian American in Illinois General Assembly. But did you know his brother's a doctor? I'm gonna pay for that one later. She's like our primary babysitter, so that was dicey. But this is the family that I had to live up to, right? Like, my mom went to school and was working and was taking care of 2 kids to get a better job. My brother, we joke, but I mean, he did a 6-year program. He did 2 years of college and 4 years of med school. So he surpassed, or he didn't do 2 years, it's a 6-year program. And he did his residency at Cook County, which is, one of the best places to do it. My sister went to Brown University. She got her master's, and got her master's in education. I mean, my sister-in-law's whole family went to MIT, and so it's just, so I had to become a state senator. So it's just, I can't thank them enough for everything, and it's just, and then the last person, and Rohan, I thank you as well for being in our lives. Where is he, by the way?
He's sleeping back there.
Okay, good. We're all out here. But is my wife, Liz, and it's so hard to describe. It's so hard to describe. I mean, we went out to dinner on Wednesday night with the family in Springfield, and to explain what we went through, I mean, we were knocking on doors until 9:30, 10 o'clock every night. We were it was such an emotional toll, and we, for those of you who don't know, we got married last year, and so she's had to deal with a lot. We went from the marriage to the campaign to expecting Rohan to buying a house, and now it's only going to get crazier, and I would not be able to do this without you. This is your win more than, it's our win, but it's yours more than anyone else's, and I'm just so thankful for everything that you've done, and I'm so proud of the career that you've built, and I will do everything in my power to make sure I continue to respect your career, because I know that's important, and thank you so much. All right, well, I just want to say thank you again for coming. Our office is actually going to be at 3851 West Devon, near Devon and Pulaski. Please reach out. Allie is going to be is my chief of staff. I look forward to working together. Like has been said, we have a lot of challenges, but we also have a lot of opportunities. And I'm ready to get started. And thank you again for coming. And please stay and have a good time. Thank you so much. A couple more recognitions. Jessel Patel, Lincolnwood Village Trustee, is here. So great to have. Over there. And Paris Perek, West Deerfield.
Guest here tonight. He has been running a little bit behind because he's in Washington to try to get the government started again and to get our immigration fixed and to get things moving forward. I'd like to introduce our Indian congressman from the 8th Congressional District, Raja Krishnamurthy.
Good evening! And Happy New Year! I just came for one reason and one reason only, to congratulate State Senator Ram Villivallam. I'm so proud of him, and I was so proud to be among the first people to endorse him. And doesn't he do us proud already? Yeah. Come on! can't hear you. And you know, he's gonna just make us, you know, just beaming with pride as he kind of fights for the things that we believe in, the values that we stand on. And I can't wait to work with you from Washington, D.C. So thank you so much for coming tonight. God bless you, and congratulations, Senator Rahm. Thank you.
Clap 3 times if you hear my voice. I just want to say a few more words. I want to thank my wife's family, Jesse and Avril Granado. They have been such a moral and emotional and mental and physical, everything support for us as we went through this process as well. So please thank them as well.